The sun descended, casting golden light across the grove where Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree. His disciples gathered silently, their eyes fixed on his serene form. The soft rustling of leaves mingled with distant calls of birds. Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze calm and penetrating. He began to speak, his voice as steady as a stream. "Dear friends, I see your faces marked by the weight of restless nights," Buddha said. "In the stillness of the night, your hearts remain heavy with thoughts unyielding," he continued. His disciples nodded, their expressions filled with longing for peace. "Let me share with you the path to a tranquil mind," Buddha proclaimed. "In the village of Magadha, I met a farmer named Aruna," he began the tale. Aruna, burdened by his family's needs, worked tirelessly by day and lay awake each night. He came to me one morning, his eyes sunken, pleading for wisdom to find rest. Buddha narrated, "To rise above, you must look inward, not outward. You must know yourself before seeking validation from others. Validation sought externally," he said, "shackles the mind. Freedom lies in embracing who you are, unclouded by fear." His words felt like a breeze clearing the fog within me, yet I still clung to my uncertainties. As Aruna practiced, his chaotic mind began to settle, like a storm giving way to a clear sky. By breathing with intent, Aruna found sleep as tranquil as a forest untouched by wind, Buddha said softly. The disciples listened, captivated, their own restlessness easing as they absorbed his words. "To you, I offer the same teaching. Breathe deeply before your slumber, and let each breath cleanse your spirit," Buddha advised. He paused, allowing his disciples to feel the weight of his message. "Banish anger and attachment before sleep, for they are the shadows that haunt the heart," Buddha continued. "Be mindful of gratitude as the sun sets, for it lightens the burdens carried into the night," he added. The disciples exchanged glances, sensing the truth in his words. Buddha's gaze softened as he shared another story from his travels. "In Rajagaya, a merchant named Piali came to me, tormented by visions in his dreams," he shared. Piali's dreams, filled with fire and despair, mirrored the greed and guilt in his waking life. I told him, "Your dreams are the echoes of your heart's turmoil, stirred by desires unfulfilled," Buddha narrated. He guided Piali to reflect on acts of kindness and compassion before resting his head at night. Through this practice, his dreams turned to calm waters, a reflection of peace within, Buddha said. His voice resonant, the disciples sat entranced, their minds painting the stories in vivid colors. "You too must cleanse your minds of envy, anger, and fear before rest," Buddha instructed. "When the heart is light, the mind becomes a sanctuary, untroubled and serene," he assured them. The grove grew still, the disciples absorbing the profound simplicity of his wisdom. "Recall the joys and blessings of your day. Let them fill your heart with warmth before you sleep," Buddha urged. "Do not dwell on what you lack, for this fuels the fires of unrest," he warned. Buddha folded his hands, his expression serene yet purposeful. "The mind is a garden. Tend to it with care before the night, for it grows the dreams of your sleep," he concluded. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts lighter, their minds clearer. As the night enveloped the grove, a newfound peace settled over the disciples. They practiced as the Buddha instructed, their breath steady, their hearts calm. The teachings resonated within them, their inner turmoil giving way to tranquility. Buddha gazed at the starry sky, his form still as the world around him rested. He had gifted his disciples the wisdom to find peace, not just in sleep, but in life. The night deepened, filled with the quiet hum of nature, echoing the serenity of the teachings. For hours, the disciples sat or lay silently, their restfulness emanating from the wisdom shared. The distant cries of nocturnal creatures sounded like a song, harmonizing with the stillness in their hearts. their breaths synchronized as if the teachings had entwined their spirits. Buddha's words carried through their dreams, a soft reminder of their path to inner peace. The grove became a sanctuary, its air imbued with the essence of understanding and calm. Under the canopy of stars, a new rhythm of life began to beat within them. The moments stretched, timeless yet fleeting, as the disciples immersed themselves in awareness. Buddha remained their guiding light, an anchor for their restless spirits. Each breath they took was like a ripple, spreading calm across the vast ocean of their thoughts. The disciples awoke the next morning, their minds rested, their faces serene. They gazed at Buddha with reverence, their gratitude boundless. The teachings had become the cornerstone of their hearts, a foundation for a tranquil existence. Buddha smiled at them, his gaze filled with compassion and understanding. The mind, at peace, reflects the divine nature of existence, he said softly. His disciples bowed, their spirits luminous with the clarity of his wisdom. As the sun rose, the grove sparkled with morning dew, mirroring the lightness in their souls. The lessons of the night were not forgotten. They were etched into their beings. Buddha continued to sit, a sentinel of serenity, as his disciples went forth, bearing his teachings. In the days that followed, the disciples shared the practices with villagers and travelers alike. Buddha's wisdom became the spark for countless transformations, spreading the light of peace. The grove, once silent, now hummed with the resonance of shared understanding and connection. The air carried the whispers of gratitude from the disciples, the villagers, and the land itself. Buddha's presence remained, eternal yet humble, in the lives he had touched. And so, the journey of peace extended, its ripples reaching far and wide. Another day, another gathering under the Bodhi tree, where the disciples assembled before Buddha with eager faces and open hearts. The early morning light bathed the grove, and a gentle breeze swayed the bamboo leaves. Buddha observed their expressions and sensed an air of curiosity mixed with restlessness. My dear friends, you seek wisdom not just in wakefulness but in the realms of your dreams, Buddha began. Dreams, like ripples in a pond, reveal the depths of your thoughts and emotions, he continued, his voice steady and calm. The disciples leaned in closer, their minds eager for insight. Ananda spoke, his voice tinged with uncertainty. Master, I dreamt of a great flood sweeping through a village. What does it mean? And why does it haunt me? Buddha turned to Ananda with a serene gaze, his eyes filled with understanding. Dreams are like mirrors, reflecting the fears, desires, and impressions within your heart, he explained. Buddha shared a story from his own life to illustrate his teaching. As a young prince, I once dreamt of a field of flowers consumed by an unquenchable fire, he recounted. The disciples listened intently, imagining the vivid scene he described. I awoke troubled, my heart heavy with the vision of loss and suffering, Buddha continued. In time, I realized the fire symbolized the impermanence of life, the inevitability of change, Buddha said. The dream did not foretell the future but revealed the truths I needed to confront, he explained. Further, the disciples nodded, their understanding deepening with each word. Ananda, your dream of the flood may signify fears of loss or the overwhelming nature of your thoughts, Buddha suggested. He paused, allowing Ananda to reflect on his inner state. Do not fear the dream, but seek the lesson it offers you, Buddha advised, his tone gentle yet firm. The grove fell silent, the disciples absorbing the wisdom shared. When dreams arise, ask yourself what emotions or attachments do they bring to light, Buddha instructed. Dreams can guide you, but only if you approach them with mindfulness and detachment, he added, his voice steady. Buddha turned to another disciple, Subhuti, who seemed lost in thought. Subhuti, what troubles you? Have your dreams spoken to you as well? Buddha inquired. Subhuti hesitated before answering, his voice trembling. Master, I dreamt of a mountain crumbling into the sea, its peak disappearing into the waves, he confessed. Such a dream speaks of the inevitability of change and the impermanence of all things, Buddha explained. He shared another story to illustrate his point. In the town of Vaishali, I met a potter named Amar who dreamt of his clay pots shattering to dust, Buddha recounted. Amar feared losing his livelihood, yet his dream taught him to accept life's transience and embrace the present moment, Buddha said. Subhuti, your dream of the mountain may urge you to let go of attachments and find peace in impermanence, he suggested. The disciples exchanged glances, their hearts resonating with the teachings. Do not cling to the images of your dreams, for they are like clouds passing through the sky, Buddha advised. Learn from them, but do not let them bind you, he added, his voice imbued with compassion. Buddha shared a final story to further illuminate his teachings. In a distant village, a woman named Maya dreamt of her lost child returning to her, he began. Maya clung to the dream, her heart filled with sorrow each time she awoke. Realizing it was but an illusion, I taught Maya to honor the love she felt in her dream without holding on to the pain of its absence, Buddha explained. In doing so, she transformed her sorrow into compassion for others who suffered, he continued, his voice steady and soothing. The disciples sat in silence, their minds reflecting on the profound stories shared. Dreams can be both teachers and illusions, but their power lies in how you respond to them, Buddha said. Approach them with an open heart and a clear mind, and they will guide you wisely, he added. Buddha concluded with words of encouragement. As you rest tonight, let your mind be a still pond, undisturbed by the winds of worry, he advised. Dreams may come, but they need not trouble you. Let them pass like shadows across the moonlit ground, he said. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and clarity. They resolved to approach their dreams with the mindfulness and detachment Buddha had taught. The grove returned to stillness, the morning light casting a soft glow over the disciples as they reflected on the teachings. Buddha sat quietly, his presence a beacon of peace and wisdom. The disciples felt a profound connection to their inner selves, guided by the lessons shared. As the day unfolded, they carried Buddha's words in their hearts, a source of strength and understanding. The teachings resonated beyond the grove, reaching the villagers and travelers who crossed paths with the disciples. Dreams became not a source of fear but a pathway to self-awareness and transformation. Buddha's wisdom continued to ripple outward, touching countless lives with its timeless truth. In the stillness of the night, the disciples practiced the mindfulness Buddha had instilled in them. Their dreams became a mirror, reflecting their inner journeys with clarity and compassion. The grove, under the canopy of stars, became a sanctuary of peace and enlightenment. Buddha's teachings, like a river, flowed into the hearts of those who listened, shaping their paths with wisdom and grace. The disciples found not only rest in their dreams but a deeper connection to themselves and the world around them. The lessons of the day became the foundation for a life of mindful awareness and peace. Another day, another gathering under the canopy of trees, where the disciples sat before Buddha seeking his wisdom in wakefulness. The afternoon sunlight danced through the leaves, casting shifting patterns across the earth and illuminating the faces of his followers. Buddha sat in silence, his presence a beacon of calm, as the disciples waited for his words. My dear friends, your pursuit of restfulness has brought you here, but true peace transcends the boundary between sleep and wakefulness, Buddha began. The wise do not see these states as opposites but as companions, both essential for a balanced existence, he continued. The disciples listened intently, eager to understand the profound nature of his teaching. Sariputta spoke. his voice thoughtful yet uncertain. Master, I struggle to find wakefulness in my meditation, and in sleep, my thoughts remain restless. How can I find balance? Buddha regarded Sariputta with compassion, his gaze steady and kind. To awaken is not merely to rise. It is to open the heart and mind to awareness, Buddha explained. He shared a story from his journey to Kapilavastu, where a hunter named Suna struggled with constant anxiety and unease. The Buddha nodded, his presence like the river's flow, constant, nurturing, and filled with a boundless sense of purpose beyond words. As the man departed, I watched him walk lighter, as though a great weight had lifted, replaced by a quiet strength. I told Suna, your thoughts are like a river. If you chase the currents, they will carry you far from peace, Buddha said. He advised Suna to anchor his mind to his breath, letting each inhale and exhale guide him to stillness. With practice, Suna found his thoughts calming, his mind a tranquil sea untouched by the winds of worry, Buddha explained. The disciples nodded, the simplicity of Buddha's words awakening understanding within them. Sariputta, like Suna, you must center yourself on the breath, the rhythm that connects body and spirit, Buddha suggested. In this way, you will find wakefulness not as an effort but as an awareness flowing naturally, he added. The grove grew quiet, the disciples immersed in the truth of Buddha's teachings. Do not view sleep and wakefulness as separate, but see them as transitions within the continuum of life, Buddha advised. He turned to another disciple, Mahinda, whose furrowed brow revealed inner conflict. Mahinda, speak of the thoughts that weigh on your heart, Buddha urged. Mahinda hesitated before answering, his voice trembling. Master, I fear the darkness of sleep, as if I am losing myself to the void. How can I overcome this? Buddha gazed at Mahinda with understanding, his expression serene. To fear sleep is to fear letting go. Yet surrender is the path to true rest, Buddha explained. He shared another story to illustrate his point. In the village of Vaikuntha, a fisherman named Nanda feared the unknown depths of the sea. Much as you fear sleep, Buddha began. Nanda's fear prevented him from casting his net into deeper waters, leaving his catches meager and his heart troubled. I guided Nanda to trust the rhythm of the waves, to flow with the currents instead of resisting them, Buddha recounted. In doing so, he overcame his fear and embraced the abundance that lay beyond the surface, Buddha said. Mahinda, let your breath be your anchor as you surrender to rest, and you will awaken refreshed, Buddha assured. The disciples sat in silence, their minds reflecting on the profound stories shared. To sleep deeply is to rest not only the body but also the soul. Untethered by worries and fears, Buddha said. He paused, allowing the wisdom of his words to sink into their hearts. Buddha concluded with a teaching that united the lessons of sleep and wakefulness. Carry the mindfulness of your waking hours into sleep, and the serenity of your rest into your wakefulness, he instructed. When you awaken, greet the day with gratitude and awareness. For each moment is a gift, he added. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts lighter and their understanding clearer. They resolved to practice the mindfulness Buddha had instilled in them, both in waking and resting. The grove returned to stillness, the sunlight fading gently as the disciples reflected on the teachings. Buddha remained seated, his presence a constant source of peace and wisdom. The disciples felt a profound connection to their inner selves, guided by the lessons shared. As the day turned to night, they carried Buddha's words within them, a foundation for a life of balance and harmony. The teachings resonated beyond the grove, reaching the villagers and travelers who crossed paths with the disciples. Sleep and wakefulness became not sources of struggle but opportunities for awareness and transformation. Buddha's wisdom continued to ripple outward, touching countless lives with its timeless truth. In the quiet of the night, The disciples practiced the mindfulness Buddha had taught them. Their breaths became anchors, steadying their spirits and calming their thoughts. The grove, under the canopy of stars, became a sanctuary of peace and enlightenment. Buddha's teachings, like a river, flowed into the hearts of those who listened, shaping their paths with wisdom and grace. The disciples found not only balance in their transitions but a deeper connection to themselves and the world around them. The lessons of the day became the cornerstone of a life of mindful awareness and peace. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.